Hello guys, so today, this is Life Saeed, so today we're going to be ranking the worst jobs to work at tier list. So, this is my first video of making a tier list, so hope it goes well though. So let's just get started. So, construction worker, well, there are pros and cons of being a construction worker. I mean, like, I've heard that you do get decent pay, but the only problem is that it's the work environment. I mean, like, you're basically like moving all the time, and you're basically like, you basically have to carry heavy objects and that stuff, which can basically like take a toll on your like back and that stuff. Like, it will give you some back pain and that stuff, or might give you some spine pain. So with that being said, it could like be a crappy job, but at least the pay's not that bad actually. Oil rig worker. So I've heard about this job before. Many people told me that it pays very well, but don't be fooled because it actually doesn't. I've heard the pay is pretty shit, and the work environment is not good either. With that being said, last choice. Next we got librarian. So I mean, librarian, I heard it's not a bad job, but like, you have to deal with fucking difficult people. So with that being said, it can be like a crappy type of job. Next we got surgeon. So like, I've heard surgeons get paid pretty well, which is very good, but like come on now, I don't want to fucking touch blood. I don't want to touch somebody else's organs. It just like, it kind of makes me sick. So like, I mean, the pay is really good. You actually make over 6 figures of this. So with that being said, but the work environment's just not worth it. So it's kind of crappy. So next we got pet food taster. Now, pet food taster is a disgusting type of job that I would never want to work at ever in my goddamn life. It's not fucking worth it. It's like you're tasting fucking dog food or cat food, for example, to get paid. And yeah, I mean, I would be throwing up if I have to fucking force myself tasting this for money. So with that being said, it's last choice. Factory worker. Now I heard them folks get like paid like around $12 per hour, which is like a shitty type of pay, especially if you're working at a really bad environment, a really bad polluted environment. Basically, without being said, it's going to be very painful. No, last choice, matter of fact. Nuclear power plant. So I've heard like this 35-year-old Japanese dude died from like the chemical reaction exposure when he was working at a nuclear power plant. So yeah, this job is definitely pretty fucking painful, pretty shitty. It's just like the work environment's pretty shitty, but the pay does really compensate that a little bit. So with that being said, it's last choice and not worst to worst because of the pay. Next we got YouTuber. So now I'm basically thinking about this because I'm like doing YouTube part-time as of right now, since I gotta like pay up for college and that stuff, and try to build up a stronger community for my YouTube channel, and try to like do something that I actually enjoy and that stuff. So, and also the pay depends on how many subscribers you got, how much views you make overall. So like, with that being said, I would say it's pretty good. Animal breeder. Okay, do I have to fucking say this? Up next is soldier. So this job is pretty painful to deal with, but like, let me search up the pay. $42,000. Not enough anyway. Not enough for a fucking soldier. A fucking person that would basically like try to protect us from our country. They need to get paid way more than that. So it's last choice. So I would say it's very painful. School bus driver. Do I have to fucking say this? Worst of the worst. And you already know why. Don't want to be dealing with nasty ass kids that are like basically causing commotions in a bus, so that's why. Paramedic. Okay, I mean, about this job is that like, this is a pretty painful job to deal with. So, because imagine seeing blood and like humans' body parts every fucking day just because you're a paramedic. Paramedic. So yeah, it's basically not fucking worth it at all. So basically, worst of the worst. I'm not trying to look over someone's dead body Okay, up next we got roofer. So about roofer and that stuff is that like I've heard that like the compensation is really like good in that. I mean, it's decent, but I don't want to see myself working as a roofer because like I definitely don't. Just like construction workers, I don't want to be dealing with getting back pain and like getting at a risk of getting heat stroke because of like high temperatures and that stuff, or getting frostbites and that stuff for working at outside environments. But like the pay is $78,000, which is actually like not that bad for the most part. So that being said, it's decent. Now Amazon warehouse, no matter like if they throw bonuses at you and that stuff, I've heard this shit a lot from Reddit recently, and I've heard Amazon warehouses. I was even considering to work at Amazon warehouse because I was trying to save up money for my college tuition last year and that stuff. But like I've heard it's a pretty shitty type of job for many people. Like they're just basically on their foot all day and basically like cannot, and like I don't know how much breaks they can get, but like I've just heard like it's just like a horrible type of environment job to be around. Like I mean, but the only benefit about this job is that you don't have to deal with like Karens and that stuff and like people. So like that's why some people chose to work here. But no matter how much bonus they give you, it's just not worth it to work here. So it would be very painful. Next, we got Freddy Fazbear's Pizza guard. Now, I don't know if I actually want to work as this. I know this isn't real, but like, if I was working as a Freddy Fazbear's guard, I would definitely just like run out of the building instantly because I definitely have a fear. Okay, don't make fun of me, fans. Chat, do not make fun of me, but I do have a fear of being around animatronics. And Freddy Fazbear is like Chuck E. Cheese. So with that being said, it's the worst, in my opinion, though. Next, we got Waffle House worker. Now, if I work as a Waffle House employee, I'm gonna have a higher risk of getting shot because, like, I've heard that like Waffle House like has like a risk of working at Waffle House. It says like it has also been slammed for its workplace safety record, and quote unquote have developed a reputation of hotbed for violence. So basically, like, yeah. So if I work there, I'm most likely going to get like beaten up from a customer or get killed. So yeah, this is going to be, matter of fact, last choice. Sewer cleaner. I mean, do I have to fucking see this? Where's the worst? Lifeguard is pretty chill. I mean, you're just basically like sitting, doing nothing, unless if you need to like save somebody from drowning. And also, I do have a backstory about like, I do basically have a back story about like me drowning as a kid. So like back when I was like 6 years old, I remember swimming at a water park and that stuff, and wanted to go to the deep end, and basically I almost died from like drowning there. So I basically like until like a lifeguard saved my life, or I think it was my dad that saved my life. So I would say lifeguard is pretty good actually, based on like the work environment. Furry corn artist. I mean, I'm putting this shit worst, no explanation. Crime scene cleaner. Imagine if you have to clean someone's blood every fucking day for just like working as a crime scene cleaner. So yeah, I'm definitely not into that shit. So it's basically like worst to worst for me. Sorry. Teacher. Okay, do I have to fucking explain this? This shit is really fucking bad. Do you know how bad the fucking students are nowadays in high school and middle school? But like in college, if you're a teacher, if I was a teacher in college, then yeah, it would be chill. I would basically be balling. But like, if I was like a teacher during high school or middle school or elementary school, I'm definitely not taking this shit as an offer. So that being said, worst for the worst. Corn scene cleanup. Yeah, not taking this shit. Sorry. Singer, songwriter, dancer. I mean, like, okay, I mean, singers, I mean, I don't know about this one because, like, I was once a singer back, like, when I was making that AP rep, the end of the school year project rep, back in 2023. You guys can, like, check the video. It's, like, linked down below. Oh, yeah. About this one, I would say it really depends on like what you're interested in. If you're not really interested in one of those four, then yeah, I mean it's not worth it. I'm not really interested in any of those though, but I was like once interested into singing my end of school rap though. I was really interested in rap when I was younger, singing rap and that stuff, but now I just like moved on. So I would say it's decent though. I mean the work my environment is not that bad. It's basically like a flexible type of work anyway. Queen's Guard. Now, do I have to fucking say this one? I mean, this one, I've heard, like, from what I've heard, it's like, you're basically dealing with a shit ton of annoying people, and you're basically playing the character the whole time while you're working as a Queen's Guard. Like, cannot say anything else besides yelling at the annoying individuals and saying back off or, like, stay away from the Queen's Castle or something like that. So yeah, it's basically like, unless if like something like violent happens, like if there's a gunshot like going on, then yeah, I mean you can't break character as much. Or I don't know if you can break character, but like that's just me. So with that being said, it would be crappy. Next we got dentists. So I heard dentists wait a minute, let me check the salary for a dentist though. So basically like I've heard that dentists get paid pretty well, so like, but you're basically like cleaning someone's mouth for like an hour by basically like, and also you basically will have to deal with someone's breath smell for like an hour. So basically I would say like, with the pay, I would say I kind of feel like the pay would compensate with the crappiness breath smell that you have to deal with for like an hour or two, but like I would say it's decent. Next we got writer. Now personally I'm not really good at writing, but like I would say this one, I want to see the work environment. So writers and authors may work anywhere they have to access a computer. So I would say this is like a flexible type of job and you're basically like working remote for the most of the time, so I would say it's pretty good. But I just wouldn't personally take that route. Next we got Uber driver. Okay, so Uber driver is not that bad actually. It's basically a flexible job. You're basically like, you can basically work whenever time you want and that stuff, but like in some occasional times you have to deal with like the most unreasonable, like difficult people out there. Like imagine if you have to deal with like one of the worst folks in the car while you're like trying to take them to their destination. I would say it's like it's between crappy or decent. You know, I'm just gonna like say decent. Just because I think it's too flexible. Next we got corn camera man. Okay, do I have to say this again? Obviously worse of the worst. No explanation. Animator. Now, being an animator, I always wanted to like be an animator since I was a kid, but since I just basically lost an interest in animation when I was like 15 and that stuff, I just basically stopped doing animations altogether when I was 15. But I am planning to go back into that as soon as possible. I'll also make some YouTube videos based on my animation. So with that being said, I would say it's pretty good. And the salary depends on how much like subscribers and viewers you got, or it depends on how big your community is. Next we got a nursing home worker. This one, it's either decent or it's either like, well, you're basically dealing with like, wait, what do nursing home workers do? Okay, so basically like their caregivers is their like second name, and they're responsible for much of the direct resident care, particularly when it comes to medical treatment. So basically you're dealing with like people needs and that stuff, old people, and also like people that are like in a coma or something. So like I would say for the most part it's not that bad, but like sometimes you have to deal with difficult people. So that being said, yeah, I would say it's pretty good, because it's not like, or I would say decent. Fast food worker. Now, like, it depends on what fast food place you work at, but like, I've heard Chick-fil-A falling for the most part, but like, If you're working at like fucking McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King, or KFC, especially Popeyes, if you're working there, then you're cooked. So that would be last choice for me, in my opinion. Now, artist. Well, I mean, for all you art fiends out there, yeah, you're definitely gonna enjoy this job if you like want to go for this career. But like, and like, I want to know what the salary is for an artist. Yeah, so on average, you make like 59K a year. So it's basically decent, but it's not like extremely good. I mean, if you're living into like a high-paying state or something, if you're living in an expensive state, then you're cooked with the salary. That being said, it's decent. Suicide hotline. I don't know the salary. The suicide hotline salary. You make $25 an hour, but like the hourly salary range can range from 9 to 46. So basically, like it just varies on like where you're working at and like what area you're working at. But I definitely don't want to like personally. I just don't want to deal with it. It's just like it's an uncomfortable feeling. So it would be crappy type of job or very painful for just like calling somebody that has to go through this and that stuff. And the cleaner, okay. Cleaner, I mean, you're basically like chilled for the most part. But if you're like cleaning the bathrooms and that stuff, yeah, I mean, that's basically a shitty type of job. So, that being said, it can be crappy at times, but like, it's okay for the most part. Yeah, I mean, decent. It's okay for the most part. Customer service. So basically, like, this is a national average. You make 45K a year, which is not enough to like support yourself if you're living into a more expensive city like LA, Boston, New York, or like San Francisco. So like, I would say the pay is pretty shit, but like at least like, but you also have to deal with a bunch of Karens and a lot of like unreasonable people. So I would say crappy. Trucker. So about a trucker is that like I heard like. About like the truckers that I heard like the work environment's kind of shit because like you're basically on your ass all day by just like driving and that stuff and you just basically don't like move as much physically. Okay, the national average pay is like 63K a year, so it's not that bad. So it kind of compensates all the crappy work environment you have to go through. But like, yeah, I mean sitting your ass all day in the truck, it's just not worth it. So crappy. School janitor. Okay, definitely. I've been on the shoes once before. I was working as a custodian at my university, and I was basically like cleaning dorms and that stuff, especially the bathrooms and that stuff. And I gotta say, like, it was basically the worst experience that I ever had. I basically like once I was basically cleaning the men's bathroom or like basically cleaning the bathroom and that stuff. I saw like somebody like basically I've witnessed somebody took a shit in like the toilet and they just didn't flush it. So and like when I tried to flush it so I can clean the toilets and that stuff, it was flooding everywhere. It was clogged as fuck and I didn't have like a plumber. So I basically had to ask my manager to give me the plumber and that stuff. So yeah, basically working here is just not worth it. Basically working as a janitor in general is just not worth it because you have to deal with the bathrooms and that stuff. So very painful. Alright, that is all the list that I made. So like, I know this is my first tier list ever, but like if you guys like the video, I mean if you guys like enjoyed the video, make sure you like it and like subscribe and that stuff. And I'm hoping to see you in the next video. Peace out.